Showcase Tula. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers, Blowers, and Guns. Welcome to another episode. You guys remember my Leupold LCO? LCO stands for Leupold Carbine Optic. This is a fake, and I got it off of eBay for 60 bucks. Anyway, I took it to the range. I had it mounted on my Smith & Wesson M&P 1522 Plinker 22 long rifle. Obviously, these fake things, you worry about whether or not it'll hold zero. But I figured on a Plinker with almost no recoil, it ought to work great. Not to mention, look great. And that's the whole thing, is that it looks amazing. Yeah. So when I got this, I put a CR123A battery, brand new, just shoved it in there, just like that. And the light went on for about 10 seconds. And then it just shut off. And I didn't know why. And then I got another new battery and I put it in, and it didn't work. And then I put another battery in, and somehow I was jiggling around, whatever, and it started to work. So I put it in my case because I was going to the range the next day to sight this in. While at the range.
Mowers, Blowers, and Guns. Subscribe, like. So last night, before I packed this up, I tested the battery and it didn't work. I don't know why. So I changed the battery to my clone, and we just put a new battery in here, and it lasted for about 2 minutes, and now the battery, I don't know, there's no red dot. So unfortunately, it doesn't work. It's a piece of junk.
It didn't work. I put a fourth battery in, brand new. It worked for about a minute, and then when we were ready to sight it in, you couldn't get the light to turn on again. So I think it's a loose connection in here. Nothing jingles or anything like that, but I just think it's a loose connection. Anyway, I emailed the seller on eBay to the fake clone Leupold LCO, and he sent me another one, and this one seems to work. So I decided, what am I gonna do with this? It's basically just a doorstop or a paperweight, right? But it looks so cool, I wanted to see if I could get it to work. So I looked up a YouTube videos on disassembly of a Leupold LCO, and there wasn't any videos about it. So guess what I'm making? That's right, I'm gonna make a Leupold LCO disassembly video so we can see how this is put together. So if you look at the Leupold, these are just the closest shots I can get to you without it. Wow, that's pretty close. Without it being out of focus. I mean, it looks nice. It looks real. It's about 5 ounces, 10 ounces, something like that. Anyway, so look, I wanted to show you guys something. I was inspecting this, and you can't take this apart. There's no halves to it. It's like one molded piece of aluminum with several drilled out areas. I don't know if they use a CNC machine or anything like that. But you can't take it apart. It's one piece. So I did try to take this apart, and I scratched a little bit. I'll get to it in a minute. You need a special tool to turn this thing, you know, that has like 2 prongs that go in the holes, and then you turn it like that. Anyway, so look, let's do the first thing. We took off this thing here. Those are the pieces to the clamp for the Picatinny rail. Then here's the battery cover, the battery. Now if you see this thing inside, you need a knife or a thick screwdriver to get that out. But I just took my middle finger, you know, the fuck you middle finger, that's right. And I could move it and twist it.
And as you can see, the inner sleeve comes out. Or like they say in Canada, comes out. There you go, see? That's it. So this metal part touches that brass band or copper band that leads downward to the other contact where it has the positive sign. So I think that with this metal touching that copper, touching this, you have a connection to a negative ground. When you stick your finger in there, the plastic sleeve that has the copper tab, if you will, is connected to a wire. And if I pull it anymore, I know I'll break the wire. See this soldered area? It's probably connected to a wire. I can't see, but I can't pull it anymore. See? So I'm just going to let it drop back in here again, and I'm going to attempt to take this apart right there. So like I said, you need a tool like this. My main channel, Mowers and Blowers, is all about repairing lawnmowers and chainsaws and all that other jazz, so I have all the tools that I need. This was kind of hard to take apart. We won't do this one yet. Let's do this main one here, because it doesn't really, you don't really know what this is. Here you know it's the windage, right, settings. Here you know it's the switch for the on and off, as well as the intensity of the red dot. This is the elevation settings, and we did that already. And there's nothing else, man. If you look underneath, this is molded aluminum right here. This doesn't open up. It's not like a rubber grommet or anything that you can open up and you can see what's inside. It's cast aluminum. This is just the stud for the clamp. And everything else, you know what it does. It leads to a switch or a setting. This one here, you have no idea what it's for. So let's take that apart. I've already damaged it by trying to get it apart. I'm just going to keep doing this until I'm about loose, and I'll show you what I see. So honestly, fellas, this thing is pretty well made. I mean, for 60 bucks, it has an O-ring on here, meaning that their intention is that this should still be waterproof, just like the real one. Water resistant at least, not waterproof. I don't know if you can submerge this and have confidence it'll work. Here's the inside. So you know what that looks like? That just looks like the windage and elevation settings on moving that center part. So that middle part here is resting on a spring. The spring doesn't do anything there, right? Except it just rests there, keep it centered, as well as something on the top. Okay, so the top is your elevation. So the more you turn that screw, clockwise or counterclockwise, it moves the center part up or down. So I'm thinking the center part is where the beam of light goes. This one over here, you push in or out, the center goes left or right. This side stays stationary. So that's interesting. So because the problem is the light doesn't come on, I'm thinking it's got to be a loose wire somewhere, a wire that might be disconnected. You see that this is just the area where the light is emitted from, so we can't really do anything there. I don't see any wires or anything wrong with it for that matter, you know. So I think next thing we got to do is let's take this one off and see. It's moving pretty freely now. I've damaged the bezel already from using a lot of, you see how that moved all the way over here? Because when I'm moving this, it's also moving the setting screw. See, it moves it together. If I take my nail and go like this, I can turn it with my nail. And it looks like it's going way to the right. Yeah, you know what? So let me do that. Let me move this all the way to the middle. Yes, I'm messing up my hands, but it doesn't matter because I work on stuff all the time. My hands are in terrible condition. But look, see how I turn that and it's moving to the center again? gotten to the point where I can turn this and the center doesn't turn, so it should be able to come out soon. I wonder how it still clicks though. That's deep. Oh, you know what? I don't think I can take it out. It's probably attached. It's already free moving. It's not coming out though. You see? If I move it around, it's attached. The top part comes off just like that. I can remove this. I still can't get this part off, because this part is sitting in the spring. There's no way I'm going to be able to get this back together again. Alright, so we've pretty much taken that stuff apart. So there's pretty much all I can do in this area and that area. I still don't see any wires, and I can't seem to get this middle part out. Maybe I shouldn't yet, before I look here first. So let's take this switch out. This is probably going to give us the most information, because this is the power switch, and it is moving freely without much effort. Remember, you couldn't do this without this tool. Alright, here we go. This part comes out, and it also has an O-ring on it, so made pretty well. Look at that. The knob comes out, not knob, knob. You see that in there? You need like some kind of a pick. Oh wait, look, see? That button comes out. You could use this maybe to turn it. Look, it's moving. Honestly, I'm really impressed with the workmanship of this thing. It being like 60 bucks. And look, 60 bucks is what I paid for it. I've seen other videos on the fake clones. This was selling a few years back for only $40. So, how much money are the guys who make this making? You know, not to mention the shipping from China. I mean, what are you making? $5 out of here? It's got to take you a long time to make this, right? Not to mention the machine and the materials. I mean, honestly, I just don't get it, you know? Oh, look. So this little washer screw nut, did that come out? Okay, came out like that. And that's it. That's all it is. There's nothing there either. How am I going to ever... Look. Now look, if I push this in, first of all, how did they get that in there anyway, in the first place? I'm mesmerized by how they got this in there. Look, on the other side, you can't have access to that inside. Unless you push this in. And you can pull this out more. No, it's still stuck. So I don't see how I'm going to be able to take the rest of this stuff apart. There's nowhere else you can open this up. Pretty amazing. After inspecting this for a bit, if I put my thumb here and turn the screw along with this grommet, it does seem like it's coming off. I know it. There's no way I'm putting this back together again. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't expect that. So if I depress this, this theoretically could come out, but then I can see that there is a blue and white wire connected to it. But where does that lead? It leads in here, but how do you access in here? This is plastic over here, but how does that sit in there like that, you know? How do you gain access to this area with that plate there? This is connected to the wire, so if I pull this, I'll break it for sure, so I can't pull that. The solution is here, has to be. So I was just about to give up when I started to put this stuff back together again, and I was messing with this one, putting it in, and the spring that was right there, that this thing rested on, it went bing, flew off somewhere. There ain't no way I'm gonna find it. So I just said, screw it. I saw that there was a little bit of a slit over here on there, and I have just been prying it. And so this backing actually comes out. Ooh. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Aha, look. The wire is coiled, and when you uncoil it, it's longer. How interesting. This green and white one, and black, I guess, leads to the front of it, and it's connected to the thing that, I don't know if it emits the light or not. The other black and white wire lead to the battery, and that's where it gets its power source. So if I just yank these two out, I don't know, I just don't see how that can work. Oh, you know what? Now that I've uncoiled it, right, the wire is longer. You know what I mean? So if the wire is longer, I'll be able to pull this one out. I don't care how long this video is. It's a mystery, and I want to get to the bottom of the mystery. I guess you guys are invested now too, huh? Ooh, look at this! Look at that! So I guess how they put it together was, they first put this in, then they put this in, got the wire out, soldered right here. I don't see any broken wires. Everything looks fine to me. It's a miracle that I didn't break that wire from all that, you know, jarring and stuff. That's how it works. So here's the switch. Here's the battery source. On and off switch is push down. Twisting it is intensity. It leads to the red dot emitter over here, which you can adjust windage and elevation there. Refracts onto a mirror that you can see there. That's how it works. It's ingenious, to be honest with you. But all this for $40? Well, I paid $60, but it was $40 at one time. Pretty cool, huh? But I don't see anything wrong with it, so I don't know why it doesn't work. I guess if I really wanted to, I could pull this wire off and pull that wire off and connect it to the battery directly, you know, but yeah, I can't do it without extra wiring. So I've looked at the connections for quite a bit. and I don't see anything wrong with it. I think maybe this motherboard is no good, or I don't know. But there's nothing really I can do about it. But I was happy that we now understand how they made this and how they put the guts in here. I am still amazed at the housing of this, how it's one piece, you know. I don't know what machine can be able to do this, but it's a lot of work for $40. I wouldn't get into the business of selling fake optics for $40 if the amount of work involved was this. So I'm going to put this all together again and call it a day. But I was happy that I was able to take it apart and at least understand how everything works, how everything is put together, what does what, you know. Pretty cool, huh? So there you go, fellas. While I wasn't able to really figure out exactly what was wrong with it, I didn't see any of the wires disconnected from it. I'm thinking maybe the electronic motherboard, you know, the circuits. Who knows, really? But I'm happy that I took it apart, because this is nothing but a paperweight right now anyway, because it doesn't work. It's a cool paperweight though, you know. To be able to see how they put it together, the 1, 2, 3, 4 orifices that was drilled into this block of aluminum, how it all worked, connected together, that was interesting. Now I know how it works. But I wasn't able to fix it. If you guys go to my main channel, Mowers and Blowers, I have a 98% success of fixing things, whether it be a lawnmower, a lawn tractor, rebuilding an engine, weed whackers, chainsaws, anything with a small gas engine in it. I even have fixed electric lawnmowers before. So for me to come out of here not fixing it, it's a little disappointing, to be honest with you. But with something like this, I'm a little out of my element, of course. Actually, a lot out of my element. But to take it apart and see how it was put together was interesting. I hope you guys found it interesting too. This was, once again, my fake replica clone Leupold Lco, supposedly a holographic reflex sight, but in reality, this is just a red dot. That doesn't work. While the manufacturer, or not the seller, sent me another one that seems to work. I put it on my 22 long rifle plinker, and I'll take it to the range and sight it in. Hopefully it'll work on that occasion. But so I got my $60 worth, and cool video on disassembly of this Leupold Lco. Thanks a lot for joining me on today's episode, guys. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers, Blowers, and Guns. Okay, Tula. Oh, Jesus Christ.